Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vasset here at Outdoors with V. Hope everyone's doing well. We are out here on a day hike. This is going to be a semi-short episode. We are out here on the trail in the Blue Ridge Mountains, right on the Appalachian Trail. I have a 35-pound loadout on me, and that is because we are testing out two things. Number one, this backpack. This is the Mystery Ranch Bridger 65-liter backpack. The second thing I'm testing out is not a piece of gear or a product. It is my right knee. And so in the last episode, I talked about hurting it or straining it or whatnot, chasing my kids around. Before I go on a full-fledged backpacking trip, an overnighter, so on and so forth, I want to make sure that my knee is good to go. It is a somewhat wet day. It's raining. The forecast has been all over the place. They were calling for a wintry mix, snow, sleet, ice, rain, but all I'm seeing is rain. It's not too cold out here. It's about 33 degrees so far. It's not too strenuous of a hike. There are a couple spots where you go uphill and slipped on a rock a little bit. There's a couple spots where, you know, it's slippery and you're going uphill, but it's a moderate hike, to be honest. By the way, this backpack, the Mystery Ranch backpack I'm using on this trip, I don't know if they're making this backpack anymore. Probably not. Word is they are discontinuing all of their civilian backpacks. And so, thought I'd pick it up before they were all gone. I got it on sale. I think it was like 130 bucks off. So if you're in the market for a Mystery Ranch backpack, definitely check them out now. The name of this area is the James River Face Wilderness. That there is the James River. I've talked about this here on the channel before. The James River runs across the entire state of Virginia, from coast all the way here to the mountains, which is awesome. It's incredible. It's a beautiful river, no matter where you go. And so, but here in the mountains, you got the river, you got the mountains in the background. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's gorgeous. In the beginning of the hike, I wore like a Columbia coat with a thermal layer, and that was extremely hot. I had to take it off a little bit further into the hike, and I was in my gray hoodie here, and when it started to rain a little more, I decided to put on this thinner rain jacket. So that coat, by the way, is in between my backpack and my rain cover. Speaking of the rain cover, that rain cover is not by Mystery Ranch. That is by Decathlon. This backpack, the Mystery Ranch one, did not come with a rain cover, so I had to improvise. Still no service. I've been in SOS mode basically this entire time. Anyways, yeah, let's keep going. I'll be honest, everybody, I'm a little disappointed. Even though I love being out here, I love hiking in rain, being in rain. You know, it's wet out here. And so I was hoping for some snow, but my gut tells me that's not gonna happen. Oh, we have some people on the trail. Let me turn this off. All that background noise you're hearing on the other side of the James River there's a main road. So you're probably hearing all the cars and stuff driving by. So I've talked about this kind of thing before. You really have to look where you're stepping. Check this thing out right here. You see this right here? This is coming out of the ground. It is solid. So if you're not paying attention where you're walking, you could literally step right into it, you know, accidentally kick it and trip. That would hurt because you're not that far from going downhill into these bushes here, or just falling flat on your face or hitting your head on a rock, so on and so forth. So pay close attention to the trail, look down, look up, look all around, and just be aware. That way you don't hurt yourself. That creek that is running alongside this section of the trail, very calming. I love that sound. The rain is picking up just a little bit, as y'all can hear. It might be time to put my hood on, to be honest. Here we go. All right. We have come up to a pretty rocky section of the trail, and so we're gonna keep going here. We shouldn't be too far from the shelter, and when we get there, we'll break for lunch. I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down, and we'll see y'all at the shelter. All right, so Matt's Creek Trail to US 501. That way, shelter 1/8 of a mile. Someone wrote that in there. That's funny. Continuing on the Appalachian Trail that way. So let's keep going. Somebody left a stuff sack. I'll just put this over there. Oh man. Woo! This is a pretty cool shelter. Yeah, it's definitely worth hiking over here. It's nice to kind of get out of the rain, you know what I mean? Here in a minute, I'm gonna make some lunch, but I'm gonna get out of this rain jacket because I worked up a sweat, you know what I mean? And I kind of want to dry off, cool down a little bit. So I'm gonna take some time and do that. All right, everybody, here's the backpack without the rain cover. Again, that rain cover is by Decathlon. It is not included with this backpack. The backpack doesn't come with one. So, again, this is the Mystery Ranch Bridger 65-liter backpack. I love the way this looks, by the way. As far as performance, it's carrying that load out very comfortably. The harness system, the padding on the shoulder straps, everything is extremely comfortable. So far, I'm impressed. For lunch, we are going to enjoy a spicy pork flavored noodle soup by, oh man, I'm going to destroy this. Tonkatsu ramen. Good vibes only. I like that. I also really like ramen, so hopefully this is good. We got some water right here, which we're going to drink. And then we're going to fire up that stove. You know, I was just talking about this backpack. I was recently on Amazon, and they have this section where they recommend products, right? I saw this jacket. It was Sherpa lined. It was insulated. It was, you know, reviewed extremely well. And it was advertised as something that will keep you extremely warm in very cold conditions. But the most shocking feature and impressive feature was the waterproof rating of 10,000 millimeters. 10,000 millimeters. This jacket, this coat, was priced at $52. On sale, $69.99 regularly, but $52 on sale, which is absolutely ridiculous. There is no way that a jacket like that with that many features, 10,000 millimeter waterproof rating, Sherpa lined, insulated, guaranteed to keep you warm in harsh, cold conditions, there's no way that it should be $52. At least $250, $300 for something like that. Now, there are some exceptions out there. You know, Columbia has some pretty good, you know, stuff out there. North Face has a good line of clothing that keeps you warm with somewhat similar, you know, statistics. Not a 10,000 millimeter, you know, waterproof rating, but waterproof nonetheless. Some other brands out there too, but I won't name the brand. I will say I've never really heard of the brand before, and it was on Amazon. But the last thing I'll say is none of the brands that I just mentioned that are budget friendly, they're not $52. You know what I mean? So clothing, you know, with clothing and kind of like gear like that, you want to spend the money. That way they last for a very, very long time. And just like anything, you also have to take care of your gear as well so that it lasts. I just thought I'd bring that up. That way no one falls for crazy scams like that. It does sound like an awesome deal, but 100% too good to be true. Check that out. Nice and hot. Just the way I like it. I forgot a fork, by the way. I'm using a spoon. Trying very hard not to slurp as well. Let's get some of this soup. It's a good spice to it. You know what I mean? It's perfect for this type of weather. Wet, chilly, you know? It's perfect. Man, that is good. Let's talk a little bit about why this is a day hike, a day trip. And I've already talked about the knee. We're testing out the knee to make sure it can handle this type of trip, a 35-pound loadout, so on and so forth. I talked about how I have all the gear I would have on a normal trip. So you're probably wondering, Bassett, if the knee is doing well so far, why don't you just go ahead and, you know, camp out for the night? The main reason is because when I wake up in the morning, that is usually when I start to feel the pain. Like the tightness, like almost to the point where if I kind of like walk down some stairs or walk up some stairs, it's really painful or just super, super tight. And so if it's going to be sore when I wake up, I'd rather wake up in my bed at home than on the trail and also have to hike back to my vehicle. Hopefully that makes sense. I think it does. And so that is why this is a day trip. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this meal, and then we'll pack up and leave the shelter. I'll bring y'all back later. All right, everybody. We are leaving the shelter. We are back on the trail. Let's get it done. Just hiking along here. I thought it was important to mention this. Even though this is a day camp, I don't just have this 35-pound loadout, you know, just to test it out, even though that is one of the objectives of this adventure. But in case there is a situation where I have to use my loadout in an emergency situation, then I have it, you know what I mean? So yeah, if I get hurt, if I get lost, if the weather gets extremely bad, which it's not going to, but anything can happen, right? I have a tarp, I have my tent, I have tent stakes, I have first aid, I have my protection, I have everything that I normally would on a regular backpacking trip. And so, again, in case there's an emergency, in case I do need to hunker down, get in my shelter, I have it. I can tell that the temperature is steadily dropping, and sooner or later, I'm gonna have to put some gloves on and probably my beanie. As I'm holding this camera, my fingers, woo, they're getting cold. My knee's holding up okay. It feels okay. I forgot to mention this. From the parking lot, if you stayed on the Appalachian Trail going back that way, the way we just came from, so from the parking lot, 714 miles, if you were to keep going, oh, I hear the train. If you were to keep going, you'd end up in Georgia. Pretty cool, right? I'm gonna shut this off while this train is going. It's kind of loud. I'm gonna go ahead and get my beanie, my headlamp, and probably get my gloves out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's getting cooler out here. Let's see here, it is 32 degrees, so it is right at freezing. I'm gonna go ahead and get all that done. Bring you back soon. Remember when I was talking about objects on the ground you should be looking out for so you don't hurt yourself or trip up or anything like that? Take a look at this. There is a metal object, a pole of some sort, sticking out of the ground. Look at this thing. That would absolutely suck. So pay attention. It's about 30 degrees out here. And so, yeah, it's a little chilly. I'll tell you this, I did not have to layer up anymore. I got my hoodie on and I got this rain jacket. I'm sweating underneath a little bit, but I'm comfortable. I'm glad I didn't put on another base layer or something like that, but yeah, feels good out here. Not too cold. I'll tell you what though, I need a snack. I am hungry again. I got this peanut butter kind breakfast bar that I'm gonna have for a snack. Let's munch on this for a minute. We are on this bridge, everybody. Oh yeah. The truck is not far away at all. I don't know if you can tell that we're on the bridge or not. I know you can hear those cars driving by, but there's There's part of the bridge right here. I don't know if you can see the water. One thing this camera is not good at is filming in the dark, even with lights. So I had a great time on this day hike. We'll bring y'all back when we get inside the truck. All right, everybody, we made it to the truck. Everything's packed away. Everything's good to go. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you can get notifications on future episodes coming up. I'm going to update everyone on my knee. While I edit this episode, I'll flash it on the screen so that you'll know what's happening next. Hopefully it's backpacking, but we'll find out tomorrow morning. Once again, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me today. I had a blast. Till next time, take care.